Maybe that meant making some really tough decisions that still toy at your heartstrings a little bit and can make you sad, but yet is so right.
You are always attracting energy into your life. The question is, what can you be mindful about attracting? I'm Shannon Bills, mindset mentor, energy healer, and intuitive reader. And today, we're having mindfulness for breakfast.
Good morning. How are we doing, everybody? I just got back from my parents' house. I spent the last week and a half on the East Coast with them, relaxing, unwinding. It was a lot of fun. And I just got back yesterday. And when I am at my parents', I'm always in my feels. And when I leave my parents', I'm always in my feels. And I want to unravel all that was going on in my head while I was there and coming home, because it is this pattern that I recognize and have noticed for the last couple of years now. The first thing I want to say is I have had some of my best creative ideas at my parents'. I've had intuitive downloads of specific courses to create. At the time when I first started my business, I had this dream of creating these creative affirmation cards, which if you are I was going to say an OG fan of mine, just somebody maybe that followed me early on in my business, you would know what I'm talking about. I had these creative affirmation cards. I had a digital deck of them. Maybe I'll bring them back one day, but it was very much my vibe at the time. And that idea came from my parents' house and relaxing in their pool. A lot of things come to me when I am just so relaxed, which is why a lot of times you'll hear people say, I had this weird download when I was in the shower or getting a massage. It's because you're so relaxed. And that's when things can come in very easily. Knowing that I've had a lot of creative ideas at my parents', I put this pressure on myself this go around to really get the creative juices flowing. I was sending that signal out to my spirit guides, to the universe, being like, okay, guys, trip to my parents' is coming up. You better give me some great downloads, some really good ideas. And the second I got to my parents', I just wanted to do nothing. I just wanted to lay in the pool, not think about anything, not teach, not focus on what courses I wanted to build. And I quickly realized that is what my guides, my higher self, had in store for me. They wanted me to empty my brain out. That is something that I call blank hours or blank weeks or blank days where you are meant to do nothing. That is the assignment, that is the task at hand to actually move you forward. So it was a blank week for me in that sense. But going back to all the thoughts that I was having, the extreme polarity that I was feeling at my parents, if you are someone around my age, your parents are starting to get older. And here's the thing, my parents look incredible for their age. They are so active, they are so healthy. But it's sad to feel this thought in your head of going, gosh, in 10 years they'll be 80, or in 15 years they'll be 85, or in 20 years they'll be 90. And that, I could get emotional right now. That thought just is a little sad and scary. And why it can be confusing in my brain is because I'm very spiritual, if you haven't noticed yet. And I have tapped into energy that is beyond this life before. I've had a lot of intuitive downloads from people that have crossed over, that I have had information that I'll have to do a whole episode on people, loved ones that I have connected to, because mediumship is not something that I practice. I can't control it, but I've had so many experiences with energy beyond this earth. That is the best way I'll sum up my thoughts in my head. And I know what's on the other side, and it's beautiful. There is something peaceful and loving about energy never dying and our loved ones never really going away. But I don't know if anyone else is with me when you know your parents are getting to a certain age and you start thinking, gosh, life isn't promised. You don't know how much time you have left with them, and you don't know what that is going to look like. And it's this weird polarity to battle in your head. I'm thinking about what life looks like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now, where you guys will be considered old people. Obviously, age is just a number and a mindset, but there are facts to that, right? There's logic to that. And that is just something that when I am with them, I am so aware of that exists, of going, gosh, I want to soak in every single moment I have with them because I love them. And I'm getting emotional and sad. They would probably listen to this episode and go, hello, we're healthy, we're active, we're alive. Like, why are you getting emotional? But it's just weird when you get to a certain age knowing we've hit that mark in life, because in my head, I'm still like, I don't know, in my mid 20s, and they're in a 50 and up community, but like they have so much life ahead of them. And as each year passes, you just go, oh gosh, everyone's getting older, and you can't pause life and you can't stop life. And it's just the weirdest polarity to feel it in your body, to be so present and grateful for every moment and opportunity that you have with your loved ones, because life is not promised. And then me knowing where we go beyond this earth, or knowing our energy doesn't die, and knowing that loved ones are still there and not missing out on a single beat in your life is also equally comforting. It's a weird thing to think about. And that was something that was so heavily in my brain. Like, I would say multiple nights when I was there, just falling asleep, like thinking about, you don't know if it will be the last time you see someone. You don't know if people can break their bones or get diagnosis or whatever. My brain was just spiraling in that direction, while at the same time just being like, Shannon, everything is great. Everyone is healthy. Everyone is living their best lives, and that's all you can ask for. But it is hard to not have those thoughts. You can't escape those thoughts from entering. And I'm always real with you guys that those were real thoughts that were coming into my brain. And so that was one thing that I was feeling. But the other polarity that was existing, this is a shout out to everybody that lives out of their hometown, that doesn't have access to driving to see their family readily available to them. Being in Los Angeles, most of my friends here, it's funny, every single person in my friend group, minus my husband, who is a California native, everyone else has parents across the country or in other countries. One of my best friends, they're British, their family's in the UK. And LA is a melting pot in that way, where so many people aren't from here, and so many people have taken the chance to uproot their life to a completely unknown place and to be away from family. And that's wild. Like, we do not give ourselves enough credit to just be like, hey, yeah, see ya, I am going to be a long plane ride away, and I'm just going to trust that I'm making the best decision for me. And this past week, I was scrolling on Instagram, and I saw a post that said that it is okay to feel sad after you've made the right decision. And I was like, wow, that really sums up a lot of growing pains in my life, things that I've had to move through in order to get to the thing that I am actually desiring. I've known California has always been the right decision for me. Since I was a kid, I've always just felt so much peace here. My soul feels very happy here. And my parents' happy place is in North Carolina, where they retired. And we are both living what is true to us and following what is right, correct to what our mind, body, spirit is telling us to do. But that can still be hard, because that can still mean you're saying goodbye to family, or you're going to miss out on some holidays or some birthdays. And I know that there are so many people, especially creatives, and I tend to be drawn to, and creatives tend to be drawn to me. I guarantee you're probably a creative listening to this right now, and you probably made some sacrifices in your life that were right for you, but sad for you and hard for you. And that was another thing that I was thinking about this week when I was at my parents', just like choosing the life that you know that is right for you, but means that you have to let something go. if you are also in that position of having to leave something or someone behind that you love so much in order to pursue the thing that makes your heart sing and happy. That is beyond brave, beyond. I get so emotional thinking about it. I wake up every day going, I am so damn proud of moving across the country, not knowing a lot of people. I did not have a secure job. I didn't know what life was going to look like, but I trusted it and I was following what my heart was telling me, and it's led me to a beautiful life. But at the same time, I miss my family. I miss my parents. Now, I'm also very grateful that my in-laws live an hour away, and I do have that dose of family that so many people in California, not just in California, but my friends in California, they don't have access to. And it's just such a brave thing that we are doing, following our heart's desires and the sacrifices that we make, no matter how sad that decision can be, how equally sad and how equally happy that decision can be. It all exists. That polarity exists in life, which is why I love polarity. Polarity is a universal law of energy. It's an energetic principle stating that polar opposites are always existing, right? There's happy, there's sad. How grateful that we can feel all of it and everything in between it. So if you're listening to this today, I think the message I have for you that's on my heart is I want you to celebrate the brave thing that you've been doing in life and that you're going after. And maybe that meant making some really tough decisions that still toy at your heartstrings a little bit and can make you sad, but yet is so right. I am celebrating you today. I'm celebrating me today and our ability to move through fear and our ability to lead with our heart. The breakfast item for today is celebrating that. And also journaling on, reflecting on the question, what would you do if you weren't afraid? For those of you that are terrified right now, but know you are not leading with your heart, what would you do on the other side of that? How would life look on the other side of that? Would you know that you are happier? You can still be sad, but knowing that you are going after what your heart wants, that is something you can do. That is something that is available to you. Knowing that it's okay to be sad, but it's also okay to follow what the heart wants. What would you do if you followed what the heart wants? What would you do if you weren't afraid?